Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. A son with multiple personalities.
We've dealt with 14.
He turns into Felix the cat.
I like to play peekaboo.
Adam is the scary one.
You're guilting me over everything. Something takes over and I flip out.
Her family disagrees.
I think Dylan is faking it.
There's no way this is fake.
I've never seen it.
But you don't live with us. I just need one person to believe in me.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. This is Dylan. His mother, Lori, says he was always a happy, sweet, loving child. But somewhere along the line, Lori says her son's life spiraled. And Dylan, now 23 years old, has allegedly split into 9 different personalities, including a cat named Felix. Yeah, you heard correctly. She says her son turns into Felix the cat. Another one of Dylan's alleged personalities is a scary and violent guy named Adam. Lori claims she recorded one of Adam's recent outbursts. Take a look.
I don't want a kid. I don't want a kid. And I gotta keep on going. Going. Guilt trip me. You guilt trip me over everything. I'll be fine. Give me 2 seconds because I'm just like my mama. Wait, hold on. Yep, see, I'm good. Who do you think they're gonna believe? Give me a phone!
Not until you calm down.
Well, in addition, both Lori and Dylan say he suffers from schizophrenia, PTSD, OCD, ADHD, and bipolar disorder. However, not everyone in his family believes this. Lori's sister, Danielle, says she's convinced that Dylan is faking his so-called mental illnesses.
Yeah, really? You're... Get it! My name's Felix, and I like to play peekaboo.
The fact that Lori believes that Dylan has multiple personalities is just so bizarre to me.
I like to mess with people, play with words, fun. You're guilting me of everything!
I've never seen any personalities other than Dylan.
I like drugs. I like them because I like they're fun. And they keep me away from having to do too many serious things.
Dylan has convinced my sister he has a mental disorder. He's manipulating her to get what he wants. Because Lori believes this, she excuses all his bad behavior.
I couldn't wait for a few minutes for me to just chill, and then I wouldn't have been like this!
Dylan throws fits, he goes into rages.
No, dude!
He has wrecked cars, he's stolen money, he's drained her bank account twice, and he just does whatever he wants. Dylan's done many drugs. He did mushrooms. He still smokes pot all the time. Lori believes Dylan has a mental disability. She never seems to believe that it's the drugs he's using. My sister needs to know that Dylan is faking this. He is manipulating her to get what he wants, and I want that to stop.
Okay, Danielle, so your opinion is that he has no mental illness?
I don't know about the mental illness. I know he's used drugs for so long, so how can you tell? I do not believe the personalities at all. And he diagnosed himself.
Uh-huh.
He's not diagnosed by a doctor.
I mean, do you think there is something wrong with him?
I do.
But you just don't believe that he turns into Felix the cat?
Yes, right.
Let's talk to the sister here. Despite Danielle's skepticism, her sister Lori says that she is convinced beyond any doubt that Dylan's illnesses and alter egos are very real. Take a look.
I like to mess with people, and I like to do things I'm not allowed to do anymore, like drugs.
Danielle does not believe the things I say about Dylan, and it pisses me off. I'm the one living with him. Do the personalities manipulate me? Yeah, absolutely. One personality will say one thing and then turn around and do something else.
I want to get you pregnant! But Mickey, you're lame!
I am afraid of Adam. Adam breaks things. He punches walls. When we were on the freeway last month, Adam grabbed my steering wheel while I was driving in the fast lane, and he was exploding for about 45 minutes. I had to pull off the freeway. Adam is the one that hurts Dylan. One time, he knocked himself out. When he gets a job, he's the perfect employee. And then the personalities come out and just sabotage it. One of them quit a job, and he didn't know. I didn't know Dylan was using drugs. When he started ODing, things started coming out. One time, I got a phone call from my daughter, Stephanie. She found him passed out on the couch. He was taken to the hospital by ambulance. 24 hours later, after Dylan overdosed, he did it again. He was sitting up against my dresser, and he was foaming at the mouth. They put him on a 5150 hold for 72 hours in a psychiatric hospital. After that, I went to him and we made a suicide pact. That if any time he was going to take his life, or that I felt like I was going to, that we would do it together. I realize it's very sick, but Dylan is my life. I would rather die than turn my back on my son. I will never turn my back on him.
Okay, this must be exhausting for you.
I am exhausted.
Tell me what you think is going on with your son.
It's what I see, it's what I live, and what I know. It's not just what I think. He's developed these alters to deal with certain situations. And he's been traumatized as a child, and that's when it started.
How many alters are we talking about here?
We've dealt with 14. I know that you keep saying there's different numbers. It changes, it grows all the time. And as soon as he doesn't want to deal with the situation, you can see him disassociate and change to whatever is going to get him through that moment.
So let's go through them. Let's take a look.
I've noticed 14 personalities. I've gotten to know 4 of them very well. Felix is my favorite personality. He purrs, he acts cat-like. Then there's Jeffrey. He's very calm. He speaks with big words. He writes stories and poetry to blow your mind. It's fun. Then there's Alice. Then there's lack of any emotion. He's very numb.
I woke up! I couldn't get you pregnant!
Adam is the scary one. He looks demonic. I am afraid of Adam. Hunter is very reserved. I don't know him very well. There's a sister and brother named Eli and Ellie. Then there's Trey and Axel, and they're twins. Trey is black and Axel white. They bounce off each other. It's a trip.
Okay, and he tells us that there are upwards of 20.
Yeah, I know. He said that to me too. I haven't met 20.
Okay. But now, but he's never been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder.
No, the psychiatrist told us that the reason it started coming out, the psychiatrist told us we need to seriously look into a personality disorder, maybe a borderline personality disorder. And then at that same time, he lost his insurance and went to move with Stephanie, and it just started coming out. He didn't just look up the things online and decide to take them over.
That's what he told me.
We learned about it online.
But to date, no one has...
Officially with DID, no.
No one's diagnosed him at this point.
No, he didn't have insurance.
So there could be alternative explanations, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just trying to find out what you know and how you know.
Yeah, just from living it, Dr. Phil, he would have to be one hell of an actor to pull off what he does on a daily basis, 24/7. He's a 23-year-old gorgeous guy who, in high school, he was the leader of the pack. Girls all the time. He is glued to my hip 24/7. He doesn't go anywhere. It's not normal. He's sick. I know the personalities are not fake. There's no freaking way this is fake. This is 24/7, Dr. Phil. 24/7.
I'm not saying they are.
I know, she is.
Well, she doesn't know.
I'm really bummed that I can't even believe that you say that 100%. You think that that's fake.
It's not 24/7 with me. I've never seen it.
But you don't live with us. How could you? It's been there. You just don't see it.
There's a point at which your involvement can become toxic.
Okay.
And when a mother makes a suicide pact with their son, then you've lost your way.
Oh, I know I've lost my way. You know, when your son looks at you and he says, Mom, I just need one person to believe in me, and I'm the only one, what do I do?
Well, but if believing in him is defined as we'll kill ourselves together.
I just didn't want him to kill himself, Dr. Phil. I can't live here without him. I just can't.
Well, then
So
you're over-involved.
I thought that would keep him from doing it.
Okay, well, Dylan is here and told my producing team that he is not sure who inside of him will talk to me. Well, we'll find out after the break.
I have somewhere near 20 personalities. My personalities have different perceptions, so it kind of creates confusion between my memories. It feels like I'm not in control. My whole family kind of jokes about me being double-dutch crazy.
And later,
My mom is now convinced that she has multiple personalities. She says that she has two. Dylan has up in the double digits now. I don't believe that. I want them both to cut the crap.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
A couple charged with abusing their adopted children.
You won't believe
you were locked in a room
with just a bucket to go to the bathroom in.
their stories of abuse.
She was dragging me across the room.
We had a meal in the dog yard.
What did you do for food?
We would eat grass, goat food, and bird seed.
How were the parents punished?
1 year in jail.
It's an outrage.
That's tomorrow.
Lori believes that her 23-year-old son, Dylan, has at least 14 different alter egos, with one of them having the name Angry Adam, which can become incredibly violent. But her sister, Danielle, says Dylan is making it all up so he can manipulate and take advantage of his mother. Dylan says his aunt, Danielle, is dead wrong. He claims his mental illness is very real, and he may have as many as 20 different personalities that can come out at any time.
My life has always seemed like it has been moving towards some sort of chaos. Every day I have to tell myself I'm still here. Since I was a kid, I've always heard voices, and distinct ones. I didn't tell people because I didn't think they would understand, or I thought that they would be scared of me. I have somewhere near 20 different personalities. My name's Felix. Most of my personalities have names, but not all of them. Sometimes I'm not aware of what's going on when I'm in another personality. My personalities have different perceptions, so it kind of creates confusion between my memories. It feels like I'm not in control. I have a lot of sleep issues. Sometimes it feels like I'm sleeping for like 10 or more people. All my personalities seem like they're on different schedules. None of them really like to sleep, though. Sometimes I'd come to you and it'll be like a different day. I'll be writing the date and I'll be like a week behind. My whole family kind of jokes about me being double-dutch crazy. My aunt doesn't want a relationship with me because she sees me and she thinks I'm just a manipulative, lazy person who's trying to use my mom. She doesn't really know him. I'm having a hard time finding my role in life and where I fit in. It makes me feel like I'm a lost cause.
That's not true.
All right, Dylan, welcome. I'm glad you're here. How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you, Dr. Phil?
I'm all right. So who you got with you here?
This is little fella.
Yeah.
This is, it's a very sentimental and pivotal, or keystone, I guess you could call it, in my road to recovery, so to speak, because sloths have always been my favorite animal since I was a kid, which is kind of weird. But my mom sent him to me when I was kind of going through it, and I lived with my sister, and Felix likes him. It's just a toy, kind of, but it's his friend. Yeah.
When you have these rages now, do you feel badly afterwards?
I not only feel guilty, I feel frustrated, even more so, because I don't know, like, why or how to even recover from something like that. I don't know how to look at my mom after that and tell her that like, what do I say? I'm sorry, you know? Like, it's just, there becomes a point where I'm sorry doesn't really work when you look like that and you're going off. I don't know, just something takes over and I flip out.
You say that when you were quite young, you had some things happen to you in your life that you didn't want to happen, that were bad for you. Can you tell me about those things?
I was molested, and I hid it for like a really, really long time, and I still try and hide it.
This is the first time you've said it.
You just kind of kept that inside? And when when you make a switch from one of these alter egos to another, do you ever do it on purpose for your own entertainment?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't at some points. You know, it becomes almost like a... When you have a defense mechanism, right, and it works for you for the most part, right, it's kind of hard to not want to use that defense if you think it's a good one.
I want you to take a look at this tape piece of Angry Adam, and let's look at this together, and I have a question for you.
I don't want to kid. I don't want to kid. I gotta keep on going. Going. Guilt trip me. You guilt trip me over everything.
I'll be fine. Give me 2 seconds, because I'm just like my mama. Wait, hold on. Oh, yep, see, I'm good. Who do you think they're gonna believe?
Give me a phone.
Not until you calm down.
Okay, what were you yelling about there?
I think it was honestly, I think it was about calling one of the producers back, and I had been asleep.
And then, right in the middle of it, you just completely turned it off and said, yeah, hello, hold on 1 second. Who do you think they're going to believe? And then you went back to a full-on rage.
I'll be fine. Give me 2 seconds, because I'm just like my mama. Wait, hold on. Oh, yep, see, I'm good. Who do you think they're gonna believe?
Give me a phone.
Not until you calm down.
So what was really going on there? Because you certainly weren't out of control.
That was me being an arrogant smartass.
So was that Dylan being flippant, or was that Angry Adam being out of control?
I was more so Dylan being flippant.
That was Dylan being a total jerk.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to wake up and call your producer.
Lot less exotic, but it's just Dylan being flippant. Okay, we're going to take a break here. We're going to add another person to the mix. Dylan's sister, Stephanie, says when Dylan lived with her for a year, he was fine. But once he moved back with his mother, Lori, he was suddenly mentally ill, and she just says she does not believe him. Stephanie's going to join us next.
I'm so sick of hearing about Dylan and his personalities and his illnesses. I don't believe that. I do think my brother is selfish and lazy.
And later, we did a drug screen this morning on Dylan.
All that? Dylan carries around a stuffed animal that is a sloth.
He kind of became a toy or a best friend to Felix. Every time Felix gets little fella, he scratches his stomach.
It's become a big part of his personalities.
Little fella goes with me everywhere just because he makes me feel comfortable. People get used to him too, and they know his name. They almost expect me to have him around.
He's very attached to it, and it's become a security blanket for him.
Dylan says he goes everywhere with his stuffed sloth named Little Fella.
What is this thing?
Because one of his personalities, Felix the cat, likes to play with Little Fella. Dylan's mom, Lori, believes he is suffering from dissociative identity disorder, or formerly known as multiple personalities. Dylan's sister, Stephanie, says her brother, well, she just says he's full of it and is making all of this up. Stephanie says her mother and brother live in their own little mentally ill bubble, and it needs to stop now.
I'm so sick of hearing about Dylan and his personalities and his illnesses. My mom is now convinced that she has multiple personalities. She says that she has 2. Dylan has up in the double digits now. I don't believe that. I think that my mom is confusing different personalities for different moods. I want them both to cut the crap. Growing up, Dylan never had any signs of mental illness. I think my brother Dylan is selfish and lazy. I've never seen his tantrums.
Yeah, really, you're
His screaming fits.
I wouldn't have been like this!
I think Dylan is faking it. One time, Dylan took my husband's debit card and withdrew small amounts. And when we found out, he didn't remember and blamed it on a different personality. I think the personalities are a scapegoat for all of the bad behaviors. So whatever he does, he can justify it. Oh, it was the other personality. Sorry.
Okay, I'm glad you're here. You've been listening to the show all the way up till now. What would you like to add first off?
I'd like to add that I don't believe Dylan was fine the entire time he was living with me.
Thank you.
I will admit I believed this at first. I did. I'm having a hard time with it now because when we moved back to California, the personality stopped.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, that was the first time I heard it from his mouth that he was molested. I've only heard it from her. So that was a little hard to hear from him, you know? So.
Can I tell you, Dr. Phil, too, that that's just coming out. None of us knew. I had you, Stephanie, for how long calling me and telling me about the different personalities, what to expect when Trey was, what Trey would wear, what you interacted with all these, at least 4 of them. And now you're going to sit here and say you don't believe it? How could he act that well?
I don't know. That's why we're here, because they stopped.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
He stopped. Well, when you guys moved to Northern California, all you ever did was sleep, right?
Most of the time.
And I'm not excusing because I wasn't there. A lot of them stopped. I told Dr. Phil there's 14 of them. There's 5 of them I never even see anymore.
Did you tell your daughter that you now have different personalities?
I said I wish you had followed that up with, didn't I say everybody has it? You go to work, you act a certain way.
When you told me that was already recorded.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, good. Because when you go to work, you act a certain way. When you're in front of your mother-in-law, you act a certain way. Everybody has it to some degree.
You say that your mother won't let you work. Do you want to work?
I would like to get to, yeah, I miss work. Dr. Phil, I like being not only busy, but I like being good at something. I love to be the person who's good at doing something. I miss that, and I don't know. Okay, even if I was, right, and I am, and I'm manipulating out of you, and I just want to use you,
I know
right?
that.
Okay?
I know.
It's not even so much like, why would I find an easier way to do it? It'd be like, why wouldn't I find a way to do it that reaps more benefits? I'd like to go out on dates. I'd like to go out and work. I'd like to have money. I don't want to, just live my whole life glued to my mom's hip.
Why do you think she doesn't want you to work?
Yeah.
It's not that she doesn't want me to work. It's that, I mean, there's definitely a half-truth to that. We get stuck. She knows I'm her son, and she knows that when I'm being irresponsible, it's not so much just let an adult have the consequences for what they're lacking or not doing because they'll learn it. It's, he's my son, and I got to follow him around and do this and do that, and it gets to the point where I feel like I can't even do anything anymore sometimes.
You've been engaged, and you didn't flee to some alter ego.
It's hard to be proud of yourself for being able to do that when you're high.
Okay, I want to talk to Dylan here just a little bit. Let me ask you something. We've been talking about some very difficult topics in your life. I mean, some of the most difficult. And you've been able to stay hooked up and engaged. And I've been talking to Dylan the entire time.
Can I tell you why, Dr. Phil?
And I want you to tell me, which, I mean, you should be really proud of that. But, so tell me what you think about that.
I can't tell you why for sure, but I know that it's hard to be proud of yourself for being able to do that when you're high. That's how I know how to do that, and it sucks. It's not that I don't even care. It's just, staying here and being able to get through something, like, and it's not always been that way with or without him. It's just the only way I know how to now. I mean, like, I can stop and it's fine, but like, I'm not here. I'm not present. I don't enjoy anything. I don't even enjoy playing my guitar. I don't like, there's nothing that I do that creates enjoyment for me because I know under the surface what's truly going on and where I'm stuck. I feel asleep almost through my entire life. Like,
but you haven't been flat affect while you're here. You have been emoting while you're here. You've cried while you were here. You've been upset while you're here. You've not been flat. You've not been zombied while you're here. You've reacted emotionally while you're here. You felt pain while you were here, and you didn't flee to some alter ego.
That's the other real, like, interesting thing is, well, like, my life's had its share of chaos, right? And a lot of it's been drugs or, and by the way, okay, like, I mean, I've always, since I can remember, heard things and had troubles with those other parts of mental illness or whatever you want to call it. Beyond all of that, though, right, it's steadily, I've been getting honestly better. Like, I don't overdose. That doesn't look better, right? But when you put it to my whole life, like, it's been stepping stones. And when everybody, it seems like, wanted to finally, like, give up, which I told them a long ass time ago they should have. Like, I thought I was a lost cause, just give up. Like, I've left, I've ran away, I've tried to tell everybody, don't, because it's not on you guys. I don't care. I don't want anything from any of you guys. The fact that you love me and the fact that you've been there has been enough and more than. But I'm finally starting to feel like I have some control and I'm getting better.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to explain to Dylan what I think's going on, because I do have an opinion of what I think's going on here, how he got to where he is at this point, and that's important because I think it informs where he needs to go from here. I mean, think about it. If somebody called you on the phone and said, how do I get to 3rd and Elm Street in Cleveland? What would be your first question? It would be, where are you now? Because you're going to give a different set of instructions if they're in Miami versus if they're in Spokane. You got to know where you are to know how to get where you're going. And I think I have a pretty good view of where we are. And that informs how to get where we're going. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, you won't believe their stories of abuse.
She was dragging me across the room.
We had a meal in the dog yard.
What did you do for food?
We would eat grass and birdseed.
That's tomorrow.
Well, Lori and her 23-year-old son, Dylan, believe that Dylan has serious mental illnesses and between 6 and 20 personalities, ranging from Angry Adam to Felix the Cat, a set of twins, one African-American, one Caucasian, and many in between. Not all have names, not all show up on a regular basis. Lori's daughter, Stephanie, and sister Danielle say, no, I don't really think that's what's going on. They think what's going on is Lori is enabling Dylan to stay at a lower level of functioning than what he could be. I'm going to tell you what I think and why, and I'm going to tell you that I think there's some really good news here in terms of prognosis. You know, everybody goes through a lot of things in their life. You know, this is what you've told us, Lori. I kind of put it together, and if you go through, you know, Dylan had this issue in his early life. He started smoking marijuana at 11, and let me tell you, the impact on a developing brain of marijuana at this age is significant. He starts failing classes. He has used heroin and meth. He experiences a traumatic death here. Lori tells Dylan at 16, I'd rather you take my life than ever use drugs. You say Lori attempted suicide twice here. 2010, kicked out of the Army for smoking marijuana at this point. 3 suicide attempts of various methodology in his life, beginning at a very young age. One trying to hang himself with a belt, a couple of times with drugs. As recently as last year, a suicide pact with your mother. I mean, I can't tell you how toxic that is. Then this perception of the multiple personalities. Then just this year, a biological father that you've been told is dead, you find out is in fact alive and in prison. So let's shake up the core of what you know, and then you're told that there's a history of mental illness in the family. So what we wind up with then is multiple labels of personalities that come up. 9 of them we know are labeled. Felix the cat, funny one with rhymes, Jeffrey, Alice, Lack, Adam, Hunter that's reserved, Trey and Axel, the twins, a child with no name, Freedom Barefoot, plus others. That's pretty chaotic. And so you start saying, okay, you look at that family history, and the whole theory behind dissociative identity disorder is that, you know, when stress gets too much, when things get too overwhelming to take, there's kind of a split off and an escape mechanism where we go off into another branch of our consciousness so we don't have to deal with that at that point. Well, there were certainly some things that one could look to, trauma-based, that you could consider as causal events in this. So, does he have dissociative identity disorder? Well, I don't know. We did a drug screen this morning on Dylan.
All that? Los Angeles area, and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. Does he have dissociative identity disorder? Well, I don't know. I just don't know. And I'll tell you why I don't know. We did a drug screen this morning on Dylan. He tested positive for marijuana, opiates, methamphetamine, ecstasy, and amphetamines.
All that?
And several of these drugs up here, involve delusions, psychosis, hallucinations, the side effects that create an inability to know what's there because you can't get a baseline. Who knows?
And at this point, does it really matter? Does it not still say that he's a very sick individual?
I came up and even just said it. I'm high right now. Like, I need help.
Well, help is here. Help is here. Because you know what needs to happen now is we do need to find out. You need something other than a self-diagnosis driven by some online article. First off, you need medical supervision to be detoxified from these drugs. Because I don't know how much you've been taking, how long, what the cocktail mix is, but you can't just all of a sudden stop these things or you will get the heebie-jeebies and you will have personalities meeting each other going through a revolving door. And then I know that there are some things that have happened with you that are open wounds in your life that have never been attended to or healed, and you've been accommodating to that the best way you know how, and without the tools necessary to do that. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that that's happened to you, and I'm sorry that you've not had the kind of help that you need. And then once that's done, then we need to sort out what really is going on. And this is Dr. Kaligi right here. He is the founder of Creative Care. It's a dual diagnosis treatment center, and Dr. Dayna Mannion, she's the clinical director at Creative Care. Say hi.
Hi.
And let me tell you, these guys don't kind of get it. They really get it. And I think they are the nation's leading dual diagnosis treatment center. They're located out in Malibu. And they offer a really comprehensive gender-separate program for men and women. And they specialize in the treatment of addiction, trauma, and other psychological disorders because it's always comorbidity. These things happen in parallel. Is this not a case that cries for your curriculums?
Absolutely. Addiction has to do with what's underlying issues, and if you address the underlying issues, then you get into sobriety.
And Lori will help you too, because you need a lot of help as well.
I want to offer you this help and care to go get this right one time and get back into a productive life. You want to do this?
Yeah, I feel like
Okay. All right, we'll do this. We'll do this. All right, when we come back, we're going to take a slight turn. You're going to meet a young man who did an experiment in the middle of Manhattan to prove a point about society's obsession with celebrity. You're not going to want to miss that. We'll be right back.
What did you think of him? I think he's excellent. I think he's absolutely awesome. I think he's got a great future in the movie business. And I just took a picture with him. You know what I mean? I feel special.
Closed captioning provided by...
Being free from dandruff feels great. Maximum Strength Selsun Blue targets dandruff, wiping out flakes and itch. Selsun Blue, freedom from dandruff.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. All you have to do is scan the proliferation of selfies, social media, update postings, Snapchat videos, and YouTube uploads to see that many people are obsessed with emulating what they believe to be the celebrity lifestyle, with an entourage popping bubbly behind a VIP rope in an exclusive club and having adoring fans scream out their name and ask for autographs. Now, a young man in New York City, Brett, decided he wanted to find out if he could trick people into thinking he was famous. He put together a team of people which included a fake assistant, fake entourage, fake bodyguards, and he hit the streets. So how did people react? Take a look.
My name is Brett. My whole life, I've always wondered what it would feel like to be famous. Nowadays, it seems like anyone can achieve fame. Why can't I do it too? I'll have bodyguards, assistants, and a few photographers follow me around Times Square, and of course I'll bring along a camera crew to film every second of it.
Have you heard any of his music? Any of his new music?
I heard his first single.
Guys, what was it like meeting Brett?
Oh, the best thing of my life. I love him. I just say that he's beautiful.
What did you think of him?
I think he's excellent. I think he's absolutely awesome. I think he's got a great future in the movie business. And I just took a picture with him. You know what I mean? I feel special.
Brett, are you there?
I'm here. How are you?
I'm just going crazy. So tell me, were you surprised that you got such a reaction?
Before we even turned the cameras on, just when we started walking and getting into place, people started coming up to me. So I was like, you know, this thing might actually work. But it was crazy. I mean, who would think that something as simple as this would actually fool thousands of people?
Were you surprised at the energy of the people? I mean, come on, like these girls in the camera, I mean, they're like eating the lens. It's like, oh my God, he's amazing.
I mean, I know I'm hard to resist, but no, I mean, I was absolutely shocked. They were so excited as though they were seeing someone they knew rather than someone they just thought was famous.
So you did this and then it goes viral. So a lot of people did see it. So you really did kind of become known, right? So people did start recognizing you.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's like, you know, everyone says like the Kardashians are famous for being famous. And then I had a little taste of it and it was like famous for not being famous. So it's funny how it all worked out.
Very creative. I hope you're back to thinking of your next thing to do and let us know when you come up with it, will you?
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing from me soon.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Morteza Kalegi and Dr. Dayna Mannion of Creative Care. We will see you next time. Thanks so much. See you guys.
Memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive. Call it